So sorry for the overload of like, watch me make coffee this morning, but let me just share something because it's that exciting. Our good friends. What do you want? We'll go get Lily. Who is supposed to be out here doing school and is not. We should have started school like half an hour ago and nobody has. But let me tell you my story. Oh, nope, I'm getting a phone call. Trying again. So, continued prayers for my mother-in-law would be amazing. She fell. She had to have hip surgery. Her shoulder's broken as well. She was in a skilled facility. We were able to move her back to her assisted living facility under the promise that she would not try to get up and do things on her own. She would call for help. And I got a call early this morning. That was them just calling me back. She fell again this morning.
Oh gosh, sorry.
So, prayers would be greatly appreciated. I don't know what to do. So, back to fun, slightly lighter topics. The coffee that I shared with you guys, my whole step-by-step process. Did you just go to the bathroom? She's about ready to potty train, which makes me so excited. Do you want to be changed first? Hold, please, again. Okay, trying again. Super exciting point is that I have usually used a French press. Love my French press. I drink coffee. Travis drinks a cup of coffee with me in the morning, and then I let the girls have coffee. It's mainly milk, but coffee on Saturdays. I'm not a huge coffee person. I can take it or leave it most of the time, but especially the colder months, I love waking up and having a hot cup of coffee. So my big story is my French press, it broke and I couldn't replace it. And so I've had a vintage teapot that we use for Writer's Tea Time on Tuesdays that we've been like making coffee in this teapot. It was like it broke and I had to find some way to make it work. And so we've been kind of like French press-esque type of an idea with the thing. Anyways. The whole point being is that with how cold it's been, minus, what was it, last week that was really weird and warm, the coffee gets so cold so fast, and it's really frustrating. So no matter how quickly I drink it, we pre-warm the teapot, we pre-warm the cups with hot water, before we pour it. We're doing all of those things, but it's cold. It's like lukewarm by the time you get it, and you have to drink it super fast. And let's just be for real, I am constantly getting stopped and can never finish my cup of coffee like in one thing. So all of that to say, and I'll have to show you guys a couple things, but a good friend of ours, she had a neighbor or whatever who was getting rid of some stuff and was like, hey, do you want this before I drop it off at Goodwill? My friend went over and was like, oh my gosh, I know somebody who will. And in that was this really awesome, like brand new, hardly used Ninja coffee pot. I know Ninja from like the Ninja blenders. I had no clue they even made coffee pots. So she messaged me and she was like, hey, do you want this stuff? I'll show you the other things too. And I was like, yes, I love the French press over this type of coffee pot system. But the thought of having hot coffee, especially with the cold winter months, like, yes, please. And so she get it. And so I have a hot cup of coffee, you guys, the little things. Maybe you take your hot cup of coffee for granted, but I have not gotten to have like a hot cup of coffee in a while. And so this is really stinking exciting. So we have that. It's like super fancy and super nice, which was so cool. I love the fact that it actually has the timer on it. So I can go ahead and like preset it up from here on out and just wake up in the morning and come out and everything will be done and ready. And that can help us just, hey, we're ready, move right into school. My friend also got me this amazing hand warmer. I have really bad arthritis, and in the cold winter months, it gets so bad, and my hands do not work in the morning. And so she found this. It's one of those silly little gadgets. Isn't it funny? One of those silly little gadgets on like Facebook ads, and she was like, Heidi might love that. And so it's freezing this morning, and I'm literally keeping this like in my pocket, holding on to it. But I got some other cool things that I want to share with you guys just because it's fun and exciting, and it kind of technically ties into the topic I want to talk about today because of getting the stuff now, I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning in my house. So it all ties together. Come with me. I'll show you the stuff, and we'll check on these hooligans back here and see if anybody's getting their school done. All right, Love Bug, what are you doing?
I'm doing poems.
You're reading poetry?
Yep.
William Blake.
Yeah.
All right, so you're reading those? You can read them out loud? No, you don't want to read them out loud? All right, you read your poems. What are you doing?
You might have to read one by your keyboard.
Oh, can you please not be getting grape juice on the keyboard? Okay. What are you doing? You're just sitting warm, sitting here by the heater? There's a heater right there. It's really dark. You can't see. Did you finish your school? You just need to go to your next tab? You're waiting on me? Yes. Okay, let's do that. What are you doing, Bubba? Eating a grape. Bun, are you eating some grapes for breakfast? Guess what, dude? It's your birthday next week. Oh, you rubbed grape juice in your hair because now your hair is all sticky. You are getting too big and I can't take it. You are getting too big and I can't take it.
After she's 2, she'll be 3.
I know. What are you working on, Bubba? What'd you finish? Did you finish? Have you done English yet?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
How come it's not checked off?
Because you still need to print out the paper.
Okay. Is this still yesterday?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. What do I know? You going to Spanish?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
Please, senor.
Baby, you're not in your seat. Can you sit down, please? Excuse you. Sit down, please.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. Sit down. Sit down, please. Olivia.
What?
Sit down, please.
Got it.
I don't know what that means, but you're not listening.
I do.
You know what it means?
Go away.
She was saying go away. Hey, sit down, please.
I read them all.
Sit on your booty.
Sit down, dude.
Sit down.
I read them all.
Are you listening to your brother but not to me? Are you kidding me right now?
I've touched her with seagulls.
Oh my goodness gracious. Hey, before you start doing that, will you bring the dog in? Because he's barking. He's going, I'm freezing, Travis, I'm freezing. Olivia, sit down.
These
Bad baby.
These poems are very hard to read because there's a lot of old English.
Old English is a little bit harder to read.
Yeah, like I just had to stop it because I couldn't understand it.
Would you like for me to help you?
Yes, please.
All right, I'm coming. So let me share with you guys my kitchen and all of its glory and mess. So it was really cool because they gifted us this Ninja coffee pot thingy that's really awesome. But then these are like my pots that I've been working with that are, I don't know if you can see how awful they are. But we have like 2 pots and this, I knocked stuff over, sorry. And that's what we've been dealing with. Well, then she had this, this was my pot, but she had this like brand new, hardly used set of the Rachel Ray cookware, and she was just going to donate to Goodwill. So my friend was like, I might know someone. So super exciting. It's like, Christmas for me today, right? With all of the goodies. So look at all of these awesome, like, pans I now have to cook with. So I told my husband, I was like, you know what? I'm like excited to cook something like really awesome with multiple different sides for dinner because I have all of these awesome pans that I can actually cook in now. So that was super duper exciting. And then she also had this, it's like an Instant Pot, just a different brand. But this Instant Pot that she like never even used, which is super, oops, it was unlocked. So super duper exciting. My friend that brought it over is a Instant Pot, like amazeballs chef. So she's gonna hook me up with all of the cool amazeballs. Yeah, she's like really good at it. And she makes her elderberry syrup in the Instant Pot and like all of these other things. And so I'm really excited to, especially with just being, you're trying to make fun of me. especially with all the things we have going on and the idea of just being able to like throw it in here in like a fast crock pot type option. I'm excited to get to use this. It's something that I wouldn't have the extra money laying around to be able to go and purchase something like this for us, but being gifted one is really super exciting. So this is also all of our Hanukkah decorations that I need to take downstairs. We're very simple with our holiday decor. I have one box that holds all of our decorations, seasonal decorations for the entire year, one little crate. So this is our menorah, the tray, the cup, and then I will take the garlands and the blue lights to go. I didn't take those down yet, but I gotta stick those here with that. And then whoop, the white lights I will probably leave up for winter time. With it being dark, it's kind of cozy having those in the house. I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna share with you guys my tips for trying to keep your house in order while you're homeschooling. I've still got to pull everything out of my cupboard so I can make room for the new pots. But first, yeah, I don't know if you can you see it very well? I'm making a couple loaves of fresh homemade bread because it's cold and I'm hungry and some homemade bread just sounds really good. So I'm gonna whip up a really easy recipe real quick and get that at least ready to rise. Then I'm gonna go sit down and we'll chat. What do you think that is? You look through it? Is it a telescope and not a flashlight that's broken and missing its end? Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't get a look. What do you have in your cool little purse that you took from your sisters? A big rubber band. Okay. Yeah. What's this? She's got their Doc McStuffins bag with all of her treasures in it. You're welcome. Were you playing with your sisters? Yeah. Oh, cool. And if you shake it, it makes a bunch of noise? Yeah. That's pretty exciting. How do you have this? This is a latch hook that was in the wall. Not quite too sure how you can have that, but that apparently goes in her purse. Yeah. Are you gonna go play with your sisters? No. No? That'll make doing this video fun. Yeah, we'll go get Lily. Bad dad? Is that what you said? Yeah. What did Dad do? You can go get Lily? No, Baba. No, we're not going bye-bye. Hi. You want to eat? Oh my goodness, that sounds very important.
Yes, it is super important.
I have something to do. And everybody was playing, so I was like, oh cool, I'll go record my video. Because I have a moment of quiet and peace. And then you came running out here. You went pee?
Do you want me to check on the bread every once in a while?
No, it can sit there for like 2 hours.
Oh.
The bread is rising for an hour, probably 2 because it's cold. I put it in the oven though. I let the oven was warm from our nachos we made, so I turned it off and just let the bread sit in there with the towel on top of it. Guys, it's such an easy recipe, I'm telling you. A tablespoon of rapid rise yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of salt. You put all that in with 2 cups of water, like warm bath temperature water. You let that sit for 2-3 minutes, let the yeast activate, and you'll know when it's activated because you'll see like the bubbles and stuff, right? You have to wake the yeast up and let it come alive. Then you put in 6 cups of flour. Throw it in your KitchenAid mixer if you have one with the kneading attachment. And just let it go for a few minutes until the bread has completely come together into a ball. That's all you do is dump and go. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, you just mix it up until you can't mix anymore. Sprinkle some flour on the counter, dump the dough on there, and then just knead it with your hands until the bread is kind of elasticy feeling, almost like a dough, like a true Play-Doh. Then you put a little bit of like olive oil in a big mixing bowl. Put the lump of dough in there, kind of fold it over so that way it has oil on all the sides. let it rise for an hour or two until it doubles up in size. So I will usually kind of warm up the oven, then turn the oven off and set the bread in there with like a towel, a tea towel over top of it, to trap that heat and moisture in. Then when it's all done, you just punch it down, kind of give it a couple quick kneads, not very much, just a couple. Split it in half, either put it in a loaf pan or you can just form a freeform loaf. If you have like any kind of stoneware, bakeware, you okay? That makes bread taste so much better. And then you just put it in the oven at like 350 and let it cook till it's done, and you have like fresh bread that's amazing. So it's super easy. All right, so are you essentially just going to hang out here with me? Okay. I had made myself a nice cup of tea because I was going to sit down and enjoy my tea while I did this, but I don't think that's going to work. Another thing I love about having the coffee maker is I put in a paper towel as my filter, threw in some loose leaf tea, let it brew my tea for me, so now I can have a cup. And honestly, I'll run it through a couple times and use all of it because I don't care if some of my latter cups are not as strong, and drink my tea that way. So good. And then that way it can stay warm because, again, I'm constantly having to reheat up the kettle, so this makes it kind of easy. Kind of get to cheat a little bit. All right, I need to do this. This video is going to be forever long if I just leave it up to you. You just want to be my little snuggle buddy?
Bye-bye?
I'm not going bye-bye.
No,
I don't want to go bye-bye. It's cold outside. What?
Stop running, I'll tell you why.
What did you do? Pause. Okay, we're going to try again. Is there something on me? Travis went out and has been chopping down trees and gathering, splitting logs for firewood for us. So Olivia usually likes to snuggle up with him to go down for her nap. And so she is like still going full steam ahead. But I really need to get this video done.
Oh, kitty, come on. Yeah, kitty.
Because then I need to go finish baking the bread, and I need to empty out my kitchen cupboards, so that I can find new homes for all of the things, considering now I have an entire set of pots and pans and an Instant Pot, which is super cool. So, thank you guys. What are you guys doing? That you just went to your sister's room. Lily!
What?
Oh, I thought you guys were running away from her.
No.
You can go play with Lily?
I'm trying to get kitty.
What?
What do you want?
Oh my goodness. Let's see if we can get through this. I wanted to talk today about, I get asked this question a lot. How do I keep my home clean and in order when I'm homeschooling? I think back to the days when my husband and I both worked outside of the home and our kid was in daycare and public school, and life was so much easier, right? Like if I cleaned my house every weekend, and it would stay relatively clean throughout the week because we weren't there. We weren't in it all day long using all of the stuff. What do you want to eat? What's that? We need to go grocery shopping, and so we are at like the bottom of the barrel. So the kids are having to eat the food that isn't their first choice food that we have. So I think they all think they're like struggling with this horrible affliction, having to eat the stuff in the pantry that wasn't our first choice, huh? So
Mom's making us bread so we can finally eat stuff.
they're like, I mean, you can't go wrong with fresh bread. Okay, can you please take her to her seat
Yes,
and go sit down and
I
then
can.
get the wet washcloth and wipe off her face, please.
come
Go
on,
sit down. Go get in your seat.
Actually,
Thank you. Go get in your seat. Go get in your seat.
I'll get you.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Anyways, it's so easy. Not that it's perfect, because there's your struggles and everything with that too, but I think there is a huge difference between everybody being home all the time and using all of the things versus only being home for a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening, and on weekends. It makes a big difference. And so when you are homeschooling, and so you have taken on the responsibility of all the things that need to get done, plus you're trying to keep up with the house, but plus everybody's using all the things all the time, I think it can be overwhelming. And I think for most of us, even if you don't realize it, when there is a lot of clutter and a lot of chaos and things are out of order, it affects you and it affects your children. So you might not think like, oh yeah, I'm a total neat freak. Everything has to be, in place. I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying that you are, but the more just disorder and chaos and mess and clutter physically that's around you, like that has an impact on you and your thoughts and your emotions and your stress levels and all of those things. And it also affects your children. And so if you have a house with just a ton of stuff and everything's always a mess and there's clutter and mess everywhere, that is going to affect your children as well. And so when you are home all of the time, this is where they learn, this is where they grow, this is where all of these things happen. That is going to affect all of that part of it, okay? So this really all ties in to many different things. Oh, yuck, will you please?
Hot today?
Honey, it's freezing outside. Like, you know this.
I can put some.
Okay, can you no. She's got some applesauce on her face. There we go. You might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of that. So anyways, it has a big impact and it means a lot. Okay, it's okay. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want it. So I've got 5 kind of tips / thoughts as far as keeping your home in order when you homeschool. Yeah. Step 1, find something for the baby to do while you try to do a video. You're welcome. All right, go play. Love you. She's so cute. Anyways, step 1, minimize. I know a lot of you have been with me since we started this channel, and it was originally called Minimalist Homeschool. I did change the name because I found that kind of having minimalist in our description and name really brought about an audience that didn't want to focus on things scripturally. And for me, minimalism is a result of my growth spiritually toward the Lord. There's much to be said on this. I have older videos on it, and maybe it's time to do that again. But I think for me, minimalism was really a result of my growth. The more I read through scripture, the more I grew spiritually, I grew biblically, in my literacy of God's word and all of those things. Minimalism really is a direct result of that. Why am I storing up my treasures here on this earth? Why am I holding on to so much excess when there's so much need in the world? Why am I putting my focus into these things that don't matter? Hello. Hi. Hey. So for me, that was really the direct result of it. But if you are especially home all the time and you are wanting to keep things in order, step 1, honestly, is get rid of all the excess. The more stuff you have, the more stress and worry and attention and focus and effort you have to put into keeping all of the things in order and put away and just all of the stuff, right? I don't think we realize how much weight every item in our home really brings into our lives. You have to clean it. You have to store it. You have to organize it. I mean, there's just so many pieces into all of that that really adds up. We can go around with this all day long. You can look at the size of homes from now versus like the 1940s and 30s, right? You look at the difference of how much space we think we need to have and the stuff we think we need to have, and it's just crazy. And then you can even open that up even more and look at how most of the world lives, and we are so rich and full of excess. Even the poorest among us here in this country are so rich compared to the majority of the world's population. Oh, baby. Okay. She did something and blew snot everywhere. It was a mess. And I don't know if you guys remember, the past 2 weeks have forgotten to get our trash out on time. So it was last week's vlog, I think, where I got out of the car and my trash guy pulled up next to me and I realized I had forgotten it. We got our trash out today. We took it down yesterday to make sure we were on point. So frustrating. Totally our own fault. All the trash is gone. Yes, they just picked it up when I sat back down. They were out there. They're probably like, oh my gosh, people with like 9 million trash bags. Anyways, if you are wanting to get your home in order and you feel like there's just so much, you have too much stuff. Honestly, there's no point in organizing excess and trying to figure out how to store excess and spending all the money and time and attention and all that stuff to have all these extra things. Okay, please. If you have excess, get rid of it. I have an ebook on our website, Minimalist Home, of the simple steps I use on how to minimize the stuff. That's like for me right now with the pots and pans. Hey, thank you. Yeah. I don't have much stuff in my kitchen. If you opened up all of my cupboards, there is not that much stuff because I only keep the things that I use. I don't keep extra. So right now, well, not right this moment, but after this, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to pull everything out of my cupboards. I'm going to reevaluate, hey, is there stuff in here that I haven't used? That stuff's going to go. I constantly am adding stuff to my donation pile. And if you look up local churches, men and women's shelters, things like that, there's so many places that are happy to take stuff. Let alone if you have a neighbor or a friend or family member or somebody that you know that could use the stuff, right? There's no point, to constantly have to get everything from a big box store. We can get stuff secondhand, be very frugal about it, and always share. But I always have a pile of stuff that's in my hey, if I don't come down and need this back within the next couple weeks, it's going to be on the next load to be donated. So as much as you can go through and minimize the stuff that you have, it is going to make such a huge difference. Honestly, start in one room or one space that's overwhelming. Empty it out, clean it, only put back the bare necessities and be ruthless about this. Only put back the bare necessities, take everything else, bag it up, box it up, whatever, put it out of sight, out of mind. Garage, basement, the trunk of your car, whatever, get it out. Give yourself maybe a couple weeks. If you don't need it in that amount of time, just let it go. Stop holding on to it, let it go. If there's something that you end up needing down the road, big deal, you can work it out, it'll be fine, but let it go, get rid of the excess. If you want to get your home in order, especially when you are in the home all of the time and everybody's always there in the space, get rid of as much excess as you possibly can. And this is a constant reoccurring process. Not only do you constantly have to reassess and reevaluate in this season of our lives, do we need this? Minimize the stuff down. But you also have to be ruthless about what you let come into your home, okay? There's no point to get everything out and get everything minimized just to go and repeat these horrible habits of bringing a ton into your house that you don't need. Biblically, we need to weigh ourselves in every single action. Nothing is too small. And what kind of a life are we truly living if that's the type of person we are, where we're constantly consuming excess that we don't need? We need to be good stewards with what resources God gives us. And that can be physical items that you currently have on hand. That's your finances. That's all of that. And how are you serving the Lord with the resources that you have? That's very important, and we need to look at those things. So this one I feel like is very important on many different levels. My second point would be all hands on deck. I absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, believe that it is our responsibility to keep our homes in order. At the end of the day, it is, Mom, we are the ones. We are the keepers at home. That is our biblical role and duty from the Lord, okay? We are keepers at home. So the ultimate responsibility falls on us to keep the home. But that doesn't mean that we can't all work together. What I mean by that is I don't think that it is the job of the children to have all the chores and handle all of the things, okay? It sits with us. It is our responsibility to take care of all of the things. But part of training our children up is teaching them how to work and how to do these things. So absolutely, every child from the youngest of ages can have little tasks and responsibilities and things that they can also do to chip in and provide for the family. So often I see moms that are so frazzled and so stressed out about keeping all of the things, but it's because they do all of the work and nobody else has any form of responsibility or does really anything at all. Okay. Sorry, got an important message with a prayer request for a friend, so wanted to stop and do that. Get everybody can be responsible for their things and their activities. If you're stressing yourself out because nobody else lifts a finger and does anything, our kids are a lot more capable than I think we give them credit for most times. They can pick up their rooms, they can pick up their stuff, they can make their beds, they can get their laundry sorted. You know what I mean? There's so many things that can be done. They can wipe down a table. They can load up a dishwasher. Everybody can work together to get things done. It also bothers me when I see stuff go the other way where like mom essentially does nothing and all of the kids do all of the things. Because I don't think that's their responsibility to handle all of this stuff. It is ours. So I think there is like a mindset and a shift in between the two.
Is this washable?
Throw it in there. I'll figure it out. I don't know. Make sure you shut that. Thank you. Okay, sorry. So yeah, definitely make sure, like our kids, Virginia, our 6-year-old, she feeds the dogs every morning. Lily is my chicken master. She feeds the chickens. Travis loads and unloads the dishes. That's his responsibility after each meal to just add the stuff to the dishwasher. So that way, in the evening we can run it. The kids, Travis is our table wiper downer, and the girls, they're the ones who put the stuff away on the table and on the floor. So they have their little roles and tasks and things that they are responsible to help out. And then I'm the one who comes through and like overall does all of the things, but all of those little pieces to help me out, that is an amazing way for them to learn these skills, to learn these responsibilities, and to really serve me and serve the family while I am working to serve them. So all of these things work together. Make sure that everybody is getting to kind of pitch in and be a part of this. And it's going to make a huge difference, right? If you are stressed out because you just can't keep up with all of the things, but then you're the only one who does any of the things, that definitely is a big impact. I know some people, they say, well, it's so impossible to keep up on all these things. My husband doesn't do this. My husband doesn't do that. I will just say, to be honest with you guys, honey, please, this is so hard. Okay, I think it's my role to serve my husband. Absolutely. I don't really ask much from my husband. My husband loves to serve and help me, and he does so very, very, very frequently, like all the time. But it is not my mindset that I'm walking around going, when was the last time you loaded up the laundry? When was the last time you did this or you did that? I, on my side of things, require and ask nothing of him as far as that. I know this is a touchy topic that can go into many different areas. Maybe it'll be future conversations, but I am here to serve him, and I can serve him by keeping a home that's orderly, by making sure he has clean laundry, by making sure he has clean dishes, by making sure that the food is made, and all of the different things. So no, and this is one I think that's hard because I think so many women, they're used to getting into that trap. Guess what, guys? I change all of the diapers. I wash all of the laundry. I do all of the things because I think it is important for me to get to serve him in that way with those different things. That doesn't mean that there aren't a million things that he does that he's responsible for and he does to serve me, because he does, absolutely. But my point is, my mindset isn't, Well, they don't do all of the things. Well, he doesn't do all of the stuff. We're not talking about all of that, right? We're talking about, yes, it is your job to be training up your children and teaching them the things, but the responsibility still lies with you. Which again brings me back to my point of minimalism. If you are too overwhelmed and there is no way that you can keep up with your home by yourself, then there's probably more going on that needs to be addressed. There are health issues, special needs, things of that nature that have to be accounted for in some cases. Absolutely. You know that, and you know that you have to make allowances and adjustments depending on what you have on your plate. But for the average situation, these are the ones that I get messaged about so often. You can't keep up because you have too much. It's overwhelming. There's too much excess. Your attitude and your focus and the way you're going about it is completely out of control and not biblically correct and straight. And a lot of times you're so focused on things outside of the home, and you have so many activities and so many other things that you're trying to focus on and do that you're not getting the time you need. Home has to be the focus first. If home isn't in order, you have no business trying to get other things in order. So it all has to start here. And so everybody can be a part of this. Hopefully all of that made sense and you guys aren't like totally freaking out at me right now. Because there's certain things that you say on the internet and people get a little crazy. So if I need to expand on any of those, please just message and ask me and I will happily do so. Third point. Clean as you go. This is like so easy. As you are cooking, clean as you go. When you get done with stuff, people talk about that. Well, oh my gosh, there's no way I could cook from scratch and do all of that. It's so much work and it's such a mess. It really isn't. Clean as you go. When you get done with something, rinse it out, throw it in the dishwasher right then and there, or wash it if you are hand washing. As you are doing things and moving through stuff, just do it as you're going. When you get ready in the morning, have I love the e-cloth microfiber cloth, so you don't even need any chemicals or anything else. You just get the cloth wet with water, wipe the countertop down when you're done putting on your makeup and getting ready in the morning. It's so easy when you are already in the space. I use bath time. When I'm in there, when the girls are getting their bath, I scrub the whole bathroom down, right? I'm already in here doing everything. I'm just going to scrub everything down while I'm in here. My kitchen never gets super messy when I'm cooking because if I spill something, I wipe it up right then and there. Dishes are dirty or I'm waiting for something to come to a boil, I'll take all of the dishes and load them up in the dishwasher. While you're already at a place doing something, just keep going along with it. Same thing. While we're outside playing and doing stuff and walking around, I'm collecting trash and, random little things that the kids have scattered all over the yard because they're awful with it. They're always scattering stuff everywhere, but just do it as you're going and it makes things so much easier. And that leads into my point 4, which is very, very similar, but I call it see, do. As soon as you see something that needs to be done, just do it. We spend more time procrastinating over things than it would take just to do the task in general. So if you walk into a room and you see stuff that is out of place in that room, just pick it up and take it to where it needs to go right then and there. If you see stuff laying around that you're like, why do we even have this? Bag it up right then and there and take it to get donated. There's so many things that we could just do right then and there. Do you see that the trash can is full? Okay, bag it up and have one of the kids take it out to the trash can right now. You'll forget, you'll go on, other things come up. Let's get in the habit, if you're not already, of doing something as soon as you see that it needs to be done. Just take the couple seconds, get the task done. I can't tell you, I most always have a cleaning cloth ready to go at all times. I'm telling you, e-cloth, I'll put a link down below if I remember. If not, just message me. But for their microfiber cloths, I have the home pack, no chemicals. It gets everything super, super clean. I absolutely love them. I did a whole review of them on the channel like 2 years ago. I always have one ready to go. So when I see something, a smudge on the wall or, whatever it may be, I just clean it right then and there, be done with it. And my 5th point that really all of this kind of sums up to, and my point especially before, Above all, remember what an honor it is to care for your family by keeping your home in order. Your home is only going to be in as much disorder as you're allowing it to be. That's with literal cleanliness, clutter, attitudes, the way people are talking, what you're focusing on, the influence that you have in your home through TV and music and outside influences and things like that nature. It's only going to be in as much disorder as you're allowing it to be in. So take control of these things. Get your home in order. And remember, when you are doing these things, when you are serving your family by cleaning up after them, keeping things organized, keeping things tidy, having a home with soft music and candles and all of the things that just kind of set that atmosphere and tone, when you are doing these things for your family, remember that you are serving them as a way to serve the Lord. And that's what it all boils down to. If your husband's ungrateful, your children are ungrateful, whatever the case may be, you are serving the Lord. Remember in Ephesians 6:7 and then in Colossians 3:23, both of those areas talk about this. But commit your work as if you were committing it to the Lord. That's who you are here to serve. So every time I scrub a toilet, every time I wipe up a boogery nose, every time I pick up the socks that were left all over the floor for like the 5,000th time, I have to remember that through my submission and my service, I am serving the Lord. I'm also serving my family, and that's a huge legacy that I get to leave to them of that servant's heart for the Lord. But above all, even when they're ungrateful and I want to have a bad attitude about it, I must remember that I'm serving the Lord through these actions. And it is so unbelievably important. Does my house always look perfect? No. Far from it. You guys, I live in an old rental home and everything's falling apart and everything kind of is stinky, to be honest with you. So I'm working with what I got. Some days it's an absolute mess. I mean, for me, flat surfaces get cluttered like that. Like, it doesn't matter how much stuff I get rid of. It's like a magnet that pulls these things out. Yesterday we had friends over, so we had 7 kids running through the house. I picked up a ton last night. When everybody was getting ready to go, I went through and I picked up in every room, and the kids helped up and helped pitch in and everything. And even still this morning I came out and I'm like, where did all of this stuff come from? So yeah, it happens. It's not perfect. You need to let go of that expectation that everything has to be perfect all the time. Like, we're a real family. We really live here. Stuff doesn't stay in place all the time. Stuff gets messy. Dogs tracking, mud all over the place. Like, it is what it is. But there are very simple, intentional choices that I can make and I can start applying today, regardless of what day it is. And then tomorrow I'll continue to do the same thing, and then the next day and the next day. But I can start doing these things and start being very intentional with these things, so that way I'm keeping my home in order. It makes a huge difference in the way that I'm serving my family. My husband appreciates it, and I can tell most of the time they don't walk around going, oh, Mom, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful home. You've worked so hard to, keep tidy for us. No. But if I've been sick or something happens and all of a sudden things that I usually do aren't getting done, they start noticing real quick, ooh, I don't like when the house is like this. I don't enjoy this. Where's Mom, right? And the things that we are teaching them to be responsible and to jump in and do these things. My girls now love folding the towels. That's like the thing they love to do, and it's such a service to me. And I think they love it because they know how much it really does help me when they can go and they can do that, and then I don't have to. Once a day, I have them. They're doing it right now. You hear the vacuum going. I have them clean up their whole room and tidy everything up. Little things like that. It's building the skills in them. It's serving me. It's serving the family. And then I can turn around and serve them and all the things that I'm doing. So it is very, very important. And you can do it. And if you're overwhelmed, start getting rid of stuff. I promise you, game changer right there. So hopefully this helps and this serves you and your family in some way. Questions, feedback, whatever on the topic, I'd love to hear it from you guys.
I know we'll get into more of this, I'm sure, but I've really enjoyed this week kind of sharing on some various different topics. So if you missed any earlier this week, you'll definitely have to go check them out. Saturdays at noon, I do a live here on YouTube, so you'll have to come join me if you haven't joined us for those lives already, and we can talk and share about some of these. I love doing the lives and getting to have some like one-on-one feedback with you guys, so we'll be doing that this week. We also have 3 church services this Sunday. So we have a service at noon Eastern, we have a kids service at 6 p.m., and then we have an evening service. We do a bi-weekly evening service with the associate pastor at 8:30 Eastern time. So lots of services this week, and there's a link down in the description for how to come and join us for those. Hopefully this helps. I'd love to hear your guys' info and feedback. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And then tomorrow, I guess we'll see what I have. I'm not quite too sure what I want to share. I know we shared on finding a rhythm with block scheduling, homeschooling multiple kiddos, and then keeping your home clean when homeschooling today. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do tomorrow. Possibly a living by faith update. I haven't done a living by faith update in a little bit, so maybe we'll get to that. But otherwise, I'm going to go and check on my bread, which should be looking pretty good, and go figure out how to fit all those pots in my cupboard. So that's what I'm off to. See you guys later. Bye.